Welcome dear friends. Today we will discuss about emetics. In your examination, question will be asked in this manner. Define emetics. Give monograph of copper sulphate and sodium potassium tartrate. So in that case you will give definition of emetics and you will explain monograph of copper sulphate as well as sodium potassium tartrate. First is definition of emetics. Emetics are the agents that brings about forceful expulsion of contents of stomach through oral cavity. So these are the agents, they will remove the contents of stomach through the oral cavity forcefully. They are a valuable part in the treatment of poisoning. Now first one is monograph of copper sulphate. Synonym: cupric sulphate. Molecular formula: CuSO4 5H2O. This compound is pentahydrate. Molecular weight 249.7 gram per mole. Limit: it contains not less than 98% and not more than 101% weight by weight of copper sulphate pentahydrate. Now preparation. It can be prepared by treating granulated copper with sulfuric acid in presence of air. So whenever granulated copper is treated with sulfuric acid in presence of air, copper sulphate will be formed and two water molecule will be released. Second preparation. It can also be prepared by treating metallic copper with sulfuric acid. So whenever metallic copper is treated with sulfuric acid, copper sulphate will be formed and hydrogen gas will be liberated. Third preparation. It can be prepared by treating oxides of copper, that is copper oxide, with dilute sulfuric acid. So copper oxide, whenever treated with dilute sulfuric acid, copper sulphate will be formed and water molecule will be released. So these are the three different preparation of copper sulphate. Next is properties. Color of copper sulphate is deep blue. It is present as triclinic crystals of pentahydrate, or crystalline granules or present as powder form. It is soluble in water, slowly soluble in glycerol and insoluble in alcohol. Stability properties. It is stable up to 60 degrees Celsius. Whenever it is heated up to 100 degrees Celsius, it will release two water molecules. When we heat up to 140 degrees Celsius, it will release another water molecule. And if we heat up to 200 degrees Celsius, the remaining two water molecules will be further released and the copper sulphate will become anhydrous salt and the color of copper sulphate will be now white. Its aqueous solution is acidic to the litmus paper. So these are the different properties of copper sulphate. Now assay of copper sulphate. Assay of copper sulphate, it is based on iodometry titration. This assay is based on the principle on the instability of cupric iodide that is formed in the reaction between copper sulphate and potassium iodide. This cupric iodide will decompose to Cu2I2, that is cuprous iodide, with the liberation of free iodine. This cupric iodide will decompose to cuprous iodide with the liberation of free iodine. Now procedure for the assay. Take accurately weighed copper sulphate powder in conical flask. Add water to dissolve it. Add potassium iodide into that solution. Add acetic acid. By reaction in between this copper sulphate and potassium iodide, iodine will be liberated. Here iodine is liberated, so this titration is known as iodometry titration. It is indirect titration. So iodine that is liberated, that will be titrated with standard sodium thiosulfate solution by using starch paste as an indicator till we get faint blue color, that is the end point. So in this reaction, 2 molecules of copper sulphate will react with 4 molecules of potassium iodide, so that 2 molecules of cupric iodide will be formed and 2 molecules of potassium sulphate will be released. Here this cupric iodide 2 molecules will be decomposed and that will give cuprous iodide as well as iodine. These iodine will be liberated and that will be titrated with standard sodium thiosulfate solution. After this, we will add 2 gram potassium thiocyanate and we will continue the titration until the blue color disappears. So in this reaction, the liberated iodine, that is, react with sodium thiosulfate and will form sodium tetrathionate Na2S4O6 with the liberation of 2 sodium iodide molecules. The cuprous iodide Cu2I2 that will react with 2 molecules of potassium thiocyanate and will form 2 molecules of cuprous thiocyanate, that is CuCNS, and 2 potassium iodide molecules will be liberated. The factor is 1 ml of 0.1 normal sodium thiosulfate is equivalent to 0.02497 gram of copper sulfate pentahydrate. This 249.7 gram per mole, that is the molecular weight of copper sulfate pentahydrate. Now storage, it should be stored in well closed container that is protected from air, heat and moisture. Use in a dose of 300 milligram in 30 ml water. It is used as an emetic. It is also used as chemical antidote in phosphorus poisoning. Externally, it is used as astringent and fungicide. It is also the ingredient of Benedict's reagent and Fehling's solution. So these are the different uses of copper sulfate. Second, sodium potassium tartrate. Synonym for this compound is Rochelle salt. Molecular formula C4H4O6 NaK 4H2O, that is tetrahydrate. Molecular weight 282.2 gram per mole. Structure is CHOH COONA. This carbon is bonded with CHOH COOK, tetrahydrate. Limits for purity. It is having not less than 99% W by W and not more than 104% W by W of C4H4O6 NaK 4H2O. Now preparation. It is obtained by neutralizing a solution of sodium carbonate solution with potassium bitartrate. This is potassium bitartrate. So mixture of this solution will be boiled for some time and then will allowed to cool. In this reaction, carbon dioxide will be evolved. The obtained solution is filtered and will be concentrated so that pure crystals of sodium potassium tartrate will be obtained. So in this reaction, 2 molecules of potassium bitartrate will react with sodium carbonate and will give 2 molecules of Rochelle salt, that is KNaC4H4O6 4H2O, with the liberation of 6 carbon dioxide molecules. Next is properties. It gives characteristic reactions of sodium and potassium because of the presence of sodium and potassium in the structure. On heating, it gives burning sugar like odor. Whatever residues we will get after the heating, that is alkaline to litmus paper and will give effervescence with the acid. So these are the different properties of Rochelle salt. Next is uses. It is emetic. For the action of saline cathartic, it is administered in solution form in a dose of 10 gram. It is also ingredient of compound effervescent powder. It is food additive also. So these are different uses of Rochelle salt. So this is the monograph of copper sulfate and sodium potassium tartrate. So whenever question asked in your examination, you will mention all the things. And if some portion of this topic asked in your examination, in that case you will mention only that portion. For example, if assay of copper sulfate asked in your examination, then you will mention only assay of copper sulfate. If synonym asked, you will mention only synonym. So prepare well. We will meet in the next lecture with another topic. Thank you for watching this video.